I also want to be a champion for bilingual ed.
Yes.
I want to be a champion for CTE.
Yes.
And I want to be a champion for a number of areas that I feel are underserved across the CPS system. And you mentioned Representative Crespo and Representative Musman. I worked closely with Representative Crespo. I was aware of the hearing. I was supportive of the state monitoring process of CPS and special ed because I knew that we weren't doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. We need to comply with the law, with the state law. We need to comply with federal law. We need to comply with all laws. And so, absolutely, that's at the top of my list and on the top of many others' lists. But I just wanted to share with you, and this is the sad part, it's what burns away at me, is that many of the issues you're talking about have been around for decades. Decades. I was executive director of Association House, a human services agency, in the 80s. And I had to, as executive director of Association House, for our kids in specialized foster care, I had to contract with a school psychologist, independent school psychologist, to be able to do the evaluation so that we could fight for the proper placement for our kids in the schools, in the Chicago public schools. That was in the 80s. And we're still looking at battles that have to be fought along the same lines. And so I want to commend all of you. I want to commend CTU. I want to commend the SEICAs. I was at Edwards School on the first day of school, and the principal took me over to one of the centers, the school that has early childhood programs. And I talked to SEICAs there who said, I'm the only one who said, I'm the only one for a class of, I don't know how many, a huge number of kids. I mean, it was there for me to see. That has to be corrected. And I'm not here to make any excuses, none whatsoever. I'm here to say we've got to continue to fight, and we've got to continue to fight together. And once this contract is settled, and it will be at some point, it will be, the fight has to continue after the contract is settled.
Oh yeah.
You cannot let up.
Don't worry about that.
You cannot let up. You have to continue to come to the board meetings, and I get frustrated at the board meetings because we have the 2-hour participation period. And because of the way it's structured, I can't respond. Board members can't respond. If we responded, we'd be there 10 hours. But that participation is important, and everything that's said at those board meetings is noted by the board members, every single board member. But outside of those meetings, there's a whole lot more that needs to be done. And so I don't know exactly what you have in mind in terms of follow-up after the contract is settled, but there must be a follow-up, and that follow-up must be aggressive. It really is. And I don't think any board member would disagree with me. Yes, we've got constraints, no doubt about it. Lots of constraints. I read that letter that the legislators and aldermen and others sent to the mayor talking about how evidence-based funding has produced a lot of money for CPS. It did help CPS. It helped school districts throughout the state. But CPS is still at 65% of the adequacy level that formula calls for. 65%. And so I want to say to my former colleagues, the legislators, we need their help.
Yeah.
We need to get up to the 100% that legislation called for over a 10-year period. We need to get there because we're already going into year 4 of that legislation, of the evidence-based funding model that addresses special ed, addresses bilingual ed, it addresses all these areas. And now CPS is going to start within the next couple of weeks, a process to review how it budgets. There will be public meetings connected to that, how it budgets, and how we are aligning our budgeting process with what the EBF funding model calls for, that has all these elements in it that require support. And so I want you to participate fully and aggressively in that process. That's one of the things that will happen after the contract is settled. So thank you. You know, do your canvassing, do everything that you need to do, and I want to be able to continue to talk with you and dialogue with you after we've settled the contract.
So one request we have, and thank you so much for those statements and the statements of support. At 2:30, there is going to be a press conference around this, and right now we're just going to go canvass, the neighborhood, just asking for, their support and everything like that around special education. We would love to have you at that press conference, saying that you promise to be the champion for special education, to push, Lori and the CPS. To do the right thing for special education, to put in writing all the needs that our students with disabilities.
And I'm not here, as I said, to make excuses for anyone, including myself, or Janice Jackson, or the mayor. I think the commitment is there on the part of the mayor, and the commitment is there on the part of Janice Jackson. And so, our job, my job, is to ensure that we meet up to those commitments.
And make sure it's in
And
writing.
live up to those commitments.
Okay, will you be there at 2:30 with us? It's going to be in front of your house.
I will not be in front of my house. No, I have a neighbor who's
Okay.
very frail, and I don't want
We can
to.
move it down a few houses, but it is going to be like a block away on the most.
Okay, down the block here is fine, but not in front of my house.
Okay, and would you sign this statement? So
I'll
this
do
is
it at the time.
at the time? Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah!